Hello and welcome to episode 576 of Fergo and the Freak. I'm that bloke from Rugby League Project, Andrew Ferguson. You can find me on Twitter at AndrewRLP. Joining me as always is the glorious LeagueFreak. You can also find on Twitter at LeagueFreak. How you going there, mate?
I'm going well, Andrew. How are you?
Not too bad. You know what I just realised in that intro?
What?
It hasn't been called Twitter for years.
Yeah, I guess. I still call it Twitter.
It's muscle memory.
Yeah. I still call it Twitter.
It's like I've got a rhythm going there and I can't change it.
Yeah. Just go with it. Eventually, we'll make enough money doing this podcast that we'll buy Twitter back and we'll call it Twitter again.
We could do that. I was just thinking that it's very boomer of me to not change my ways.
Yeah. Well, you know, you grow up during the Blitz, you're going to have some old ways about you. I know you still love boiling meat. Just everything you boil.
But you got to. You know, I actually keep my meat. I hang it in a chilled closet. Yeah. They keep telling me about these refrigerated things. I don't know what it is. It sounds like something from the moon.
Sounds like fairy tale stuff.
Yeah. Well, the long-awaited Ashes has been run and done.
Yeah. We learnt so much. We learnt that the Australian Rugby League team is way better than the English Rugby League team, which I think shocked everyone.
It was surprising. Mm-hmm. And I say that without any surprise whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Is when the few English fans who wanted to somehow have some sort of moral victory somewhere,
mm-hmm.
they ran this argument that, well, that Australian side shit anyway. It was like, yeah, and you know what? That shit team beat yours 3-0.
Yeah.
What argument are you trying to make here?
There was some really interesting coping mechanisms that we saw.
I know. Last week I said you'd been busy, and you've been a little bit busier this week.
Oh yeah. Well, I can't help myself because I see, like, they started the thing again after the last loss, where they were like, "Oh well, our forwards really gave it to your forwards," and it's like, no, they didn't. Like there was at no point did our forwards become under any stress or out of control of the game for even 1 minute. Like they've got this thing in their head and they keep doing this. Like they do it retroactively too. Oh, our forwards were better that year. It's like, no, they weren't. And they say, oh, have you got proof? And it's like, yeah, I watched the games. And they it will be series. Like they said it about the last Ashes series in 2003. We won that 3-0 as well.
Mm.
And they've got these really weird coping mechanisms. One of the things they'll say is like, oh, our forwards are just as good as yours, but our backs haven't got the class. And it's like, no, your forwards don't either. And it just really straight, oh, we would have gone better if our coach was better. And it's like, no, that you don't. You just don't have the talent. And it's these weird things that they keep saying and telling to themselves. And it's strange to hear because, can you imagine if you had an NRL team? Perfect example is the Canberra Raiders, you know? Oh, the draw's against us. Oh, the refs are against us. Oh, and when the push comes to shove, they're absolutely nowhere. Like they can't win a finals game. It's that sort of mentality that makes you a loser. Like I was saying, that their forwards were soft. And they're like, they weren't soft. They were giving it to your forwards. It's like, no, they weren't. Not for even 1 minute were they giving it to our forwards.
Sure. I was going to say, remember in the last episode we discussed, and I mentioned the meters made by the English forwards in the first two tests.
Yeah.
Shall we go through how many meters they made? How many of them made over 100 meters in the third test?
Well, are you able to do how many of them made 100 meters in the three tests combined? Like if they
a few would have, but
but still, like we're talking about three tests at home.
So the players who made the most meters for them in the third test: Herbie Farnworth, 126, centre.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Walmsley,
mm-hmm.
I think was he playing in the middle?
Yeah.
He made 124 off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
And Mikey Lewis, I think he's a backup half, isn't he?
Yeah. He come off the bench. Oh, he ended up going into fullback because they had.
Right.
Brimson got injured early on.
That's right.
So,
well, he made 106 meters.
Okay.
In their forwards that were on the run-on field, so Mike McMeekin, 97, Matty Lees, 49, Callum Watkins, 92, Kai Pearce-Paul, 70, Morgan Knowles, 64.
Like this is the forward pack that supposedly beat up our forward pack. Like,
They didn't.
no.
And they just don't. The whole team made 2 line breaks. It's just, it's not.
They
They're
scored.
not doing. They haven't learnt from the failings in the first test.
No, but they haven't learnt from the failings since 1972.
Oh, like they're not going to. But
They're not going to, and that's what I've been saying for
but
years.
if we give them just give them recency bias, right?
Okay.
You look at the first test, and they constantly played wide of the ruck, and they tried to run around the Aussies, and all they did was run themselves out of the field of play, and did not dominate the middle.
Get them going side to side. It's something we've always done against England in my lifetime. Like, make England think that they can go side to side, and that's it. It's over.
Yeah, and they didn't learn from it. In the second test, they did it, and they were worse. They were better defensively, but in attack, they were not making any meters. And in the third test, they were worse defensively and in attack. Not once did they ever assert dominance with the ball in hand in the middle of the field. And if you want to beat Australia, go and have a look at when Tonga beat them a few years ago. They just smashed them through the middle.
Yep.
And it was unrelenting.
Yep.
That's how you do it. It's the only way. You have to bash down the front door. And if you're not going to be willing to put that grift in there and do that, you won't get it done. The only time in recent years that the Poms have gone close to matching the Aussies was when they had, James Graham and the Burgesses and all those there, and then they were in good form.
And we still beat them.
Yeah, we still beat them.
Yeah.
But they were standing up to the Aussies in the middle of the field.
And we were still, but our forwards still were smashing them.
We're still beating them. But that was the closest they got to matching us, and that was because they were standing up to us in the middle of the field, right? But they did nothing beyond that.
No.
So they did the hard yakka, and it was like, okay, we're getting ourselves into this game, but then as soon as it went from the middle of the field away from where they were doing all the hard yakka, there was just nothing, and so they fell away. And Australia just had to withstand that pressure, and then just roll over the top of them in the last 25, 30 minutes of a game, and it wasn't a problem for them.
No, and it makes you wonder what they think forward dominance actually is, because like there was no rampaging like Taumalolo, there was no breaking the line, there was nothing. There was nothing there to indicate that their forwards were. I mean, we just handled them easily. It was like we didn't in this whole series. We didn't get out of second gear, and they only scored 2 tries. One of those tries was late in the first game, and it was just lazy defence on the Australian line. The game was basically over, and they sort of skipped out a dummy half and scored. The only other try they scored was in the third game, and it was a run out of dummy half, some lazy defence in the middle of the field by Australia, and it was kind of like a breakaway try. That's it. It's not like there was, they had plenty of sets on our line, especially in that third game, and we just handled them. I just don't see what they look at and they say, oh, we really took it to Australia, because the scoreboard doesn't indicate it. The stats don't indicate it. No, like the results don't indicate it. When you put the results into the historic record of all of the results that we've seen, it's not like this is an outlier or anything. This is just par for the course. We handle them. I think, what is it now? It's like they've scored like 3 tries against us in the last something like 8 games.
Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah, like that's minnow stuff. That's like PNG would be disappointed with that against Australia.
I will say, and I'll try and give him a silver lining, I think Walmsley was the only forward who was earning his worth in this match as a forward with the ball in hand. He made 62 post-contact meters, which is that's a good effort.
Yeah.
Right? No one else in that forward pack got past 36 post-contact meters.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's
That's
feeble.
shut down. That is shut down.
That's feeble. But you should be looking at 50 is your minimum you want to get to, right? It's not a bold task, but that's what you should be aiming to get at, because that would suggest that you're bending the line for a good 2 meters, 3 meters every hit up, because most players will do between 20 and 25 hit ups in a game.
Yeah.
So if you're pushing them back 2 or 3 meters every time, that's about 50 odd meters, a little bit more than that. That's what Walmsley was doing, but he was doing it all on his own. And you can't, even a Super League level, you can't win games if only one forward is doing the graft.
Yeah, it's very strange. I just don't understand the things that I see them say out of a series like this. I mean, if New South Wales lost a series like this to Queensland, I would tear New South Wales apart. I would call New South Wales soft, and this England team's. I think this England team's maybe the softest England team I've ever seen. They just offered nothing, and when you would say that, they'd be like, "Oh, they're not," and you're just like, "What? What are they watching? What are they not seeing in this series? What do they need to see? Like, do they need to see us win every game by 60? Do they need? I don't know. I really don't know what you would need to see, because this England team has a worse record against Australia than like the Australian soccer team has against England. Like
this is the thing, okay? As much as they hate to admit it, they are used to and they accept the fact that they are not as good as Australia, and they know they're going to lose.
Yeah,
the majority of their games. So when they lose to Australia, they're like, well, it's as much as I'll make all these sort of weird comments and stuff like that. Deep down, they know that they weren't going to win. What it will take, so it doesn't matter if Australia beats them fucking 100-0. It won't change anything.
Yeah.
It'll make a difference when a team who they expect to win beats them. If Wales beats them or if France beats them, that's when it might get in. And it's got to be a team around them. It can't be one of the teams that have got most of their players in the NRL, because they'll just go, oh, it's just a bunch of NRL players, and they'll immediately in their head go, well, they should win.
Look, I watched
if France does it, and that's when it'll hit it, because they'll be so pissed off then, and they'll do everything. They'll be fucking tearing their ass down. This game's shit. We've got to do something. That's when it'll matter. That's when they'll take notice.
Well, look, they have such disdain for every single country in the game, except for, and when I say disdain, I mean like they think that they're less than shit every other nation except Australia, and that includes New Zealand. Like, they think nothing of New Zealand either. I watched the last two series they played against Samoa and Tonga, and like both of those teams, there were points where those teams were dominating them, especially through the middle. And then what would I say? Decisions started going against those teams in a mind-blowing way, and they got the results that they wanted out of those games. So they didn't learn anything from those games. They won't learn anything from this series against Australia. They'll go into the World Cup next year. If they're put in the main group, they're put in the first group and it's like, say, Australia, New Zealand, Samoa and England, I don't think they'll win a game. I think that if they play in one of the other groups, it'd need to be a really easy group for them to get out. Like if they go into a group with, say, Fiji, PNG and PNG in one of those three-team groups, that's not going to be easy for them. And then they're just going to lose their first final, their semi-final game or whatever, however they structure it from there anyway. So, and then they'll just blame whatever, and they'll not pick up any results, they'll learn nothing. They're supposed to have a series at home against New Zealand in 2027, and then in 2028 they want to have an Ashes series in Australia. That Ashes series in Australia, they will lose by monumental scorelines in our heat, in our firm grounds. So, but they won't learn anything from it, and you just get to a point. And you know what I think about this? Put a wall around them. Let them do what they want. Let them enjoy, because this is what they enjoy. But let's the rest of the rugby league playing world get on with making the game better, expanding, playing one another, enjoying our games. Like, it's really weird that Australia can play New Zealand, Samoa can play Tonga, Tonga can play New Zealand, and all of these contests are wonderful celebrations of international footy, and we're like, oh, isn't this great? Oh, what a go. And then Australia plays England, and it's just super amounts of negativity for some reason, and it happens with no other nations.
Yeah. Look, when England comes down here for the Ashes, if they had any semblance of intelligence about them, they would come down here and they would do an actual tour. Don't come down here for 3 tests. Like, come down here and get yourselves, acclimatized as much as you possibly can. Play warm-up games as much as you can. And not just against, some bush mob down the road. Like, see if you can get an NRL team or a New South Wales Cup team to play against you. Like, do some of that. Make sure you play at least one test against all of the island nations down here. Play against Australia in the 3 Ashes, but they need to start playing. If they are legit, they want to be competitive. They need to start playing against as much teams down here as much as possible and give themselves the best chance possible. We know they won't.
Yeah, and part of me thinks they don't want to do it.
No,
they don't want to do the hard yards. And they never have.
I think a lot of it will now come down to the last time they came down here and they played tests against a number of nations and lost them all. They're like, we don't want to have that happen again.
Yeah.
But they need to.
Yeah.
And I want France to do the same thing. I think France has a lot more opportunity to improve and get stronger than what England does.
Yeah,
because the crux of the way France actually plays the game is on... They've kind of got it right. They realise that they need big forwards and they need to make the meters up the middle. So they've got the nuts and bolts of it sorted out. Its execution is their problem.
Yeah.
And they need to come down here and they need to be playing down here far more regularly. And I'd like to see that.
Yeah, and there's a humbling that you need to go through. And England, because their psyche for the game is very different to what you see in every other nation that plays rugby league around the world. And we've talked about this before. Their ultimate goal is to be able to walk into some little local pub in a town somewhere and be, the big celebrity, and people want to buy them drinks and stuff. That's what fuels them. They don't really actually care about, wanting to be the best. Like, if you think of the career mindset of, say, an English player, right? Just your average English player versus the career mindset of, say, Nathan Cleary. Very different mindsets, very different levels of what they feel is professionalism, how they get themselves prepared for games, what their goals are. And the English goals are just to be well liked in your local pub, whereas over here it's just, if you said that, if you said, what's Reece Walsh's goal? It's to be liked in his local pub. People would be like, what the fuck are you talking about, Maybe Todd Carney had that mindset, and look what happened with him.
He got a bit distracted.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to,
Yeah.
So I think that there's a lot of talk. They talk about different things. It's the same thing of they'll say, oh, we want change. We want big changes in Super League and stuff. It's like, okay, well, what if we moved your club? Oh, not my club. My club doesn't need changed. And that's what they all say. So no one wants to change anything. No one wants to change how you do junior development over there. No one wants to spend money on actual junior development rather than just buying elite juniors. And they don't want to change, and that's fine. I'm completely happy with it. But don't pretend, and don't then sit in that stupid cold little island of yours off the coast of Europe and say, well, fucking Australia ruins everything. Like, fuck you lot. You deserve what you get. And that's how I think about it, Andrew.
That's fair. We'll have a quick look at, well, actually, it won't be a quick. We'll have a look at the World Cup structure for 2026, shall we?
Yeah.
At the moment, there's 3 groups. Group A has Australia and New Zealand in it.
Oh, have they put the teams in groups now, have they?
Not all of them.
Okay.
So they know they've got a top 4 teams.
Okay.
And because Group A has 4 teams, the other 2 have 3.
Yeah.
Australia and New Zealand in Group A,
Yeah.
and Group B and Group C, one will have Samoa and the other one will have Tonga.
Okay.
And so I think it said here in 3 days' time, on November 17, that is when the full fixtures will be announced. So all the groups and stuff will be sorted out then.
Well, I mean, my guess is that they're going to go with quarterfinals, semi-finals, and so it looks like you'd get to it maybe. That, I mean, that's how I would guess. I can't imagine.
No, it looks like it is semi-finals and then a final.
Well, that's good. Well, England
Yeah.
England's not going to get out the group stage then.
Yeah, it's just 2 semi-finals and then the final. So
That's how it should be.
It's a pretty short. So at the moment, we've got the teams that have qualified are New Zealand, England, Australia, Fiji, Lebanon, Tonga, Samoa, Papua New Guinea, France, and the Cook Islands.
I wonder what group they put England in. Because I mean, I just can't see them beating any of those 4 teams.
Let's see. I was wondering if it would go based on when a team qualified. So for some reason, I'm looking at the Wikipedia page for this. It's got it in order as to when they qualified. And for some reason, it says that New Zealand qualified on the 28th of October 2022.
Yeah.
England, Australia, and Fiji qualified the day after.
So that okay. So my guess is that's when they played their games in the World Cup.
But didn't Australia play in the final?
They did, but remember, it's like all the quarterfinalists qualify, and so my guess is New Zealand played before those other teams.
Oh, because they. But I mean, Fiji is also on the same day as England and Australia, but Samoa isn't. So Lebanon, Tonga, and Samoa are on the 30th of October, and this is 2022.
Yeah.
Papua New Guinea is the 31st of October. France is the 25th of October, just passed.
Yeah.
And Cook Islands is the 9th of November.
Yeah, because they had to play South Africa to qualify.
I actually found the brackets for the qualification process. I'm not going to go through all the lead-up games.
Yeah.
But in the European part, France beat Ukraine 74-8. Wales beat Serbia 48-0. And in the final, France beat Wales 48-6. Then there was an inter-confederation playoff. France beat Jamaica 36-0. And the Cook Islands beat South Africa 58-6. Apparently, those are the games that got both those sides in.
Look, you know what? To be fair, I think this time around they worked it out and they got it right because there was. I mean, we talked about it for ages. There were so many teams that were getting leg up into the World Cup for zero reason whatsoever.
And there still is.
Well, who though?
I think anyone who didn't play in the World Cup final got a leg up. Like, let's be honest. We can't be going around giving, leg up, an automatic entry for all the teams that just made it to the quarterfinals.
I see what you mean. Yeah, I agree.
Like the 2 finalists should get in, and then I think we should start having some sort of playoff system below that. Sure, it can be easier for the teams that made it to the final 4. I'm fine with that, but there needs to be some sort of process that they all have to go through. We can't have a 10-team World Cup and 8 teams automatically get entry.
Yeah, I agree.
Because for 4 years, we've got 50-odd nations vying for 2 spots in a World Cup. That is just nonsense.
I agree completely. But and just in general terms of we're not, this is probably the first World Cup I can think of where we've got 10 teams and they're 10 real teams. It's not just like, where the fuck did this Welsh team come from? Or they've dragged out a Scotland team again. That's nice. And we've seen that over and over again so many times.
Yeah.
At least now you can say, the Cook Islands have been playing regular games. They're a very good team. They're a very good team. There's only 15,000 people live in the Cook Islands. They're punching so far above their weight, it's ridiculous. They're a good side. France is obviously a real nation. If they got grandfathered in for every World Cup, I wouldn't have a problem for hosting the first one and creating it, basically. But I see your point of view as well, where we should maybe expand the qualifying process so that everyone except the finalists have to go through that process. But I think we would have ended up at the same result anyway that we've got now.
We
I guess
probably
that's
would
where
have.
I'm going.
We probably would have, but I think a lot of these teams that are vying for a spot in the World Cup need to get a bit more of an opportunity than what they currently get.
Yeah, definitely. There needs to be some tournament there, doesn't it? There needs to be some mid-ground tournament. I don't know what you'd call it, whether you call it like a Confederations Cup or whatever.
You could start pretty localised. Like I think in England, you could have a British Isles one. England, Wales, Scotland, Ireland could play in a series, and the top team in there, you go in. And then you could have parts of Europe, you have France, Italy, Greece, teams around there. You can have a Middle East or African one or something like that. You can have an Americas one. You can have the Pacific Islands one. Have all these different zones and have a bunch of teams that advance to the next stage.
Mm-hmm.
And then you might get things like, you could have the Philippines and the USA having to play games against, France and Lebanon or something like that.
Yeah.
Make that an event somewhere. And this is how you make international games worth, mean something.
Yeah, I agree.
And get eyes on it.
I also think that Australia should have a team that we literally call the Emus. So you've got the Kangaroos as obviously the best team. They're playing all the test matches and everything. I think we should have an Emus team now. Obviously, they won't be full internationals. You won't get caps for that. Big shout out to number 49 out there. But I think that it would be good for us to develop players, maybe a lot of fringe players that would normally not get a run, which we do a little bit with PNG 13 team. But players that maybe wouldn't normally get a run, but I think it would also expose teams like France or Ukraine or the United States to that higher level, and it would allow those players to really push their claims to play for the Kangaroos. And I could see where you get some guy that just, for whatever reason, he pulls on an Emus jersey and is just a monster, and you have to pick him for Australia because, and we've seen players like this in the past, like Paul Sirenen was a bit like that in rep games. Like, he was a very good club player, but for whatever reason in rep games, he was just another level. Tim Brasher was another one like that, where amazing club player, but just in rep footy, he was incredible in every game he played. So I think that we should do that as Australians, have an Emus team, call them the Emus, and have them play at those sort of levels. And have some sort of competition every 3 years or 4 years or whatever for those nations with the Emus involved with them, where it's Australia and Ukraine and France and all these teams and the Emus. And
why not call them something a bit more kangaroo-y and call them, a wallaby or something like that?
Well, a wallaby is just a soft, useless, less athletic, fat, Nazi collaborating.
See, that people don't realise this, but during World War II in Australia, we had to go and do this big, massive roundup of all of the wallabies and put them in prison.
So
collaborative performances.
So that's what I would do anyway. I like the Emu's name. There's something funny about it. Like, I know it was a half derogatory sort of, like, it was never a bad name, but it was like, oh, you're just an emu, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I kind of like it. There's something cool about it, and it's the other side of the coat of arms.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not opposed to it.
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, maybe. I mean, the PM's 13 is there. I just think we should be using that team, that second string Australian team, to play against these nations like France and things like that.
Yeah.
And get them over here. And we need to get nations outside of the Pacific.
Yeah.
To have more exposure against the Pacific nations in Australia.
100%. 100%. I think that we should have the Cook Islands playing France as many times as we can. I think they line up pretty well as opposition strength to each other.
Yeah, and I think the NRL should find a way to help fund the French team to come over here.
Mm-hmm.
If not every year, every second year, something like that, on a very regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would do an absolute massive benefit to International Rugby League and to French Rugby League.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I could think of nothing better than watching France beat England. I would just love that so much. I have such a massive soft spot for the French Rugby League team. Like, no other rugby league team has been through the shit they've been through, and they've been so keen to expand the game for so long with so little support. They're the most ultimate of underdogs at the moment.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, they have pushed to get that exposure against England and as in their club competition, but I think now it's hurting them because they're starting to.
They've hit the ceiling there.
Well, they've not only hit the ceiling, they're starting to augment their game to be successful in that English system, and that English system is not a successful way to play rugby league. So they need exposure to the rest of the rugby league playing world, and we need to give them that. We need to do everything we can to give them that. I think that's important.
Yeah. There's got to be a way we can do more. Maybe have Magic Weekend over in France sometime.
Well, they're going to have that round 0 in 2027 where they play, you know, a whole round of games, and they want us to play some games in France for that. So that'll be good for them to see that.
Yeah. We've got to find a way, though, to get the French teams to play against the Aussie teams.
Yeah. It's a shame there's no more real direct flights from Australia to France or the south of France, you know, because...
What's somewhere in the middle that we can meet at?
Well, so, I mean, you always think Singapore, that they've got a pretty good stadium to play out of. I looked up this stuff one night about 3 months ago. I don't know if I was messaging you and Nadine about it. I looked up stadiums where you could do this sort of thing. Singapore had a pretty good stadium to play out of. Hong Kong has a new-ish stadium you could use as well. They were the two that stood out for me.
Yeah. It'd be good if there was somewhere that we could just sort of meet halfway and do that and promote the game there. But I'm just looking, halfway is kind of Saudi Arabia to India sort of region.
Yeah, and the problem is with France, it's like where you're getting the flights to and from. So I think the French teams would have to go up to Paris and then fly out of Paris. And it's just all these extra legs and stuff that you start adding to trips, and it starts making it a little more difficult, you know.
Maybe we could play them in Hawaii.
Well, I think that would be the furthest point in the world from France, wouldn't it?
No, it's not too far.
Yes, it is. It's miles. It's the other side of the planet.
Yeah, you just go the other direction. It's not too far to fly from France to the US.
Yeah, but then you're flying across the whole US and then further, and then to go into the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, but as we know, everything about the US is smaller than Australia, so it wouldn't take that long to go over the US.
True. That's true.
So yeah, that's the World Cup that's coming up.
Yeah, can we talk about the Pacific Championship between?
My word, we can.
Yeah.
I was at work, so I didn't get to watch the game.
Yeah, look, the first half was fantastic. Samoa was playing really well. New Zealand was playing really well also. New Zealand hasn't played one bad half of footy in this whole tournament. And then the second half started, and it just, everything that could have gone wrong for Samoa basically did. Giving away silly penalties, just bad play, drop ball, you know, giving away 6 agains that were legitimate. And it just everything just seemed to go bad for them. You know, when you see those games, sometimes that happens, and it was unfortunate. New Zealand were fantastic. They were deserved Pacific champions, and I was so impressed with New Zealand. But there's a lot that they can build upon the Samoan team, and they need to look for that 80-minute consistency, definitely. But I really enjoyed the game, and it really capped off a great tournament. The crowd was fantastic at the final at Parramatta Stadium. So, this Pacific Championship, I know you and me were really... we didn't like the format, but we were really like, this is what we've needed for a long, long time, and it is starting to become something really big and special. It's fantastic to see.
Yeah, and I would like it to eventually have Australia involved in all those teams.
Yep.
I think that would be a brilliant thing.
Yeah.
And we'd probably find that it would only take 2, maybe at the most, of those tournaments for people to consider it as being a greater international spectacle than the World Cup.
I think if you chuck Australia into this year, I think everyone would be saying, like, that was the World Cup.
Mm.
It was just such a great tournament. The cup won the plate, the second division of it was not as good. There were some very inconsistent results there for some of the teams, but that is kind of what that is for, I guess, those teams to sort of play against that level, and maybe those teams should stay there a little bit longer at that level. But yeah, it's cool that we now have a tournament that we can point to and say, this tournament is on every year and it is fantastic, and it gets everyone involved, and it gets really big TV ratings. Like, even though Australia wasn't involved in it, the TV ratings absolutely smashed any of the TV ratings that the Australian Rugby Union team had for any of their games.
Were they playing?
Hey?
Were they playing games, were they?
Yeah, they've been playing games this whole time, hey?
Oh.
Yeah, I think they played Japan.
In tennis?
They played Japan. They played Italy.
Bit of croquet.
They lost to Italy, and then they played some games. They're playing some games over in England. I don't really know, but I know that the TV ratings were way bigger for the Pacific Championships than it was for those rugby union games, anyway.
Oh yeah, I'm just looking at the scores now. So they lost to... They lost to New Zealand on the 4th of October. They beat Japan by 4 points on the 25th of October. Got flogged by England on the 2nd of November. And they got beaten by Italy on the 9th of November.
There you go.
And they've got France and Ireland coming up.
All right, good. Whatever.
The last time I paid any attention to rugby union, both the French and Irish sides were pretty good. So,
all right. Well
done, Wallabies.
Yeah, like, they should just give up.
They have been.
They're a little. It's funny. They're a little bit. It seems like they're a little bit like the. They've got this weird thing where if you see the headlines for rugby union news in Australia, and it's always promising that they're going to be better one day, and they never are. And it's funny to see.
They don't have the same PR people as English Rugby League do they?
Well, yeah, they've got a little bit of that about them. Hey, it's very funny.
Oh boy! Now, the NRL draw was finally released in full today.
Yeah, wasn't it? Wasn't it so interesting? Oh my god!
I'll tell you what. The only thing that I find interesting about the draw getting released, is how artistic the clubs are at releasing their own draws.
Oh, really?
Did you see the little video that Penrith made showing who they were playing against in the comp this year?
I'll be honest, outside of semi-trolling through my website with the NRL draw, as you know about, I couldn't give a flying fuck about the NRL draw when it comes out ever, hey? So I've not seen anything.
What the clubs do now is they try and find the most entertaining way to display who they've got in their draw. So the two best ones I've seen were the Dolphins had basically, it was like the intro for Bluey, the kids' TV show.
Okay, I've never seen that.
And they had the song going on in the background, and when the Bluey theme tune is sung at the start of every episode, it sounds like little kids are singing it.
Can you sing it for me?
No, it's amazing that.
I thought you might have.
No. So
It's been funny.
They
Go on,
they
just
went
sing
through
it.
that.
Just a bar.
They went through and did all of that. They went through and did all that for every single team, and it was actually really, really cute the way they did it all. It's brilliant. But then Penrith came out,
Yeah.
and theirs was. Do you remember when the Nintendo Wii first came out? We're going back like probably 15 or so, no more. No, it'd be about 15 or so years, maybe a bit more. The game that you got, I think, when you bought a Nintendo Wii, was Wii Sports.
Yeah, I remember that. I played the hell out of that.
Yeah. Well, go and look at the Panthers draw, and that's what they've done. They've made the Panthers draw, and every opponent is a character in Wii Sports. But that character does something to lose their game. I think they had Cameron Munster on there, and he's gone for a putt, and he's missed the putt.
Yeah.
And then they got Kafusi on there from the Dolphins.
Yeah.
And he's boxing or something like that, and he gets punched and knocked out or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, people playing baseball and getting caught out. It's brilliant. And then when they got to the bye, they did the thing like when your remote got disconnected. Like the whole thing, it's fucking genius. I love it so much.
The Panthers social media team is like probably the best in any sport I follow.
Some of these clubs have done great. I remember a few years ago, the Raiders social media team did a great one for their draw release. That's the only thing about the draw that I look forward to. I generally don't care about the draw. Like for me, it doesn't fucking matter. It makes no difference.
Yeah.
Right. But the way the clubs release it on their little videos, like they're all trying to one up each other on how entertaining can we make this.
Yeah.
And some of them are just absolute fucking crackers, man. But the Panthers and the Dolphins this year, I mean, if you don't know anything about Bluey, don't worry about the Dolphins one. But the Panthers one, fucking great.
I'll have to watch it. Hey.
Oh mate, it's brilliant. It's on X.
Yeah, on X.
It's on X. You can go check it out on there. But I do recommend you checking it out. So I did what every other wanker did when it comes to the draw.
Seriously, Andrew. Like I know you're compelled to do this, right? I know you're compelled to do this, but when I say others doing it, that is the exact word that needs to be used. I see some of this shit, and I'm like, I like it when they'll say like I'm doing a deep dive into it, and then they just say how many home and away games teams have, and it's like that's not a deep dive. You're just repeating it.
The thing that kind of annoys me is that I've been doing this sort of it's a quick sort of an analysis.
Yeah.
And I used to do it just to write an article.
Yeah.
And that was it. But I was doing it many years ago when very few other people bothered with it, and the mainstream media certainly didn't care about doing it.
Yeah.
But now they're all doing it, and everyone else is doing it, and I'm like, oh.
I know
it's not my thing anymore.
But
everyone's doing it now.
I know your motivation now, right, is more to, it's almost like to fact check all of the people that are now doing it, that are like, oh, this is the hardest draw and this is the easiest draw and stuff. And you're like, no. I actually did the work. This is the fucking hardest draw. This is the easiest draw. And because I see a lot of that stuff, and I'm like I saw so many over the last few days. Oh, the NRL's leaked another game, and I'm like, I don't know who it's for. I don't know who's like sitting there going, oh, cool, we're playing like the Rabbitohs in round 3 next year. Oh, yeah. I don't get it.
No, I don't.
Like, I'll look at the draw next year, like about 4 days out from the season kicking off.
It's just madness, the whole thing.
Yeah.
So here's what I do every year, right? I basically just go through and I rank all the teams from 1 to 17. And I've got
do it different.
I've got this crazy system. Like everybody else who I've seen doing this, they just use the rankings at the end of the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of stupid because if, take for example, the team that finished 4th wins the grand final, then surely the team that wins the grand final is the number 1 team.
Yes.
So I make them number 1. The team that runs second in the grand final, they're number 2.
Yes.
And then the highest ranked teams who drop out in the 3rd week of the finals, they're 3 and 4. And
Yes.
the next one's a 5 and 6, and 7 and 8. It does.
So you use that weird thing that we don't see very often in rugby league called common sense.
Yeah, some people call it logic.
Yeah, I mean, it has no place in rugby league, but I understand where you're going with this.
Yeah, well, see, I've got to have a point of difference.
Yes.
And so I figured if I go down the logic path, I'll be sweet. So yeah, basically, you get whatever the ladder position is of your opponent. That's the number of points you get for playing against them. So at the end of the year, you add up all of that. The team, you get a score at the end. The lowest score obviously means you've played more higher ranked teams than lower ranked ones, which means your draw's harder.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've gone through and done that. And then what I've done is I've added in a few extra things like, number of times you play against a team that was in the grand final, teams that were finished in the top 4 and in the top 8. Calculate all along, and we go from there to find out who's actually got the hardest draw and who's got the easiest one.
Mm-hmm.
Does that seem like it makes sense?
It does. The only thing I would add to that is no matter what the results show and no matter how easy or difficult it was, the Canberra Raiders have the worst draw ever. Just ask them. I just want to add that at the beginning of this.
There's always that caveat.
Yeah. Even if they've got the easiest draw for the last 10 years, it's really the hardest draw.
We should automatically just deduct 50% of their points.
Yeah.
Because they're in Canberra.
They've just got a problem with the playing games part. Like, they're good at everything else. It's just the playing games part they just think is going against them.
Unfair.
Yeah, it's very unfair.
Yeah, we should get buys every week.
Yeah. Like when they get to the finals and it's all bye-bye.
So, without going into too much detail, I'm not going to go nuts on this, but we'll look at the overall total that I've got here. The average total for the 17 teams is 197, the score.
Mm-hmm.
That gives you a bit of a marker to determine, how strong or weak one team is.
Mm-hmm.
South have got the hardest draw, 178. That's 19 points under. And Cronulla's got the easiest draw, 219. So they're 22 points over.
It's that's rough for the Rabbitohs because, I know they're going to get a lot of players back from injuries that they had this year, but still, they haven't got the best squad. They're kind of in a rebuild or a half a rebuild anyway, so it's going to be another tough season for them. And for the Sharks, I mean, that's great for them. They should definitely be at least top 4 next year because I think they're a legit top 4 team now, no matter what the draw is. But if they've got that easier draw, they should be maybe even aiming for top 2.
They really should be looking at an improved performance next year. And this is the other thing. South have got one of the hardest draws at their home, for their own home games.
Yeah.
And the Sharks have one of the softest.
Wow.
So you'd probably expect the Bunnies to probably go 50% at home.
Mm-hmm.
And you should expect the Sharks to win probably 10 of 14, or what is it, 10 of 12? Or maybe 9 of 12 at home. Like, they should do pretty well there.
Yeah.
That's basically it. I mean, I'll go through it in order from hardest to softest. So, South, Penrith, Roosters, Bulldogs, Titans and Melbourne, Dolphins, Cowboys and Brisbane, they're at 196. Remember, the average is 197.
Mm-hmm.
Canberra, Parramatta, Tigers, 198. Dragons, Warriors, Knights, Manly, and then Sharks at the end, 219.
It's good for the Knights and Manly, I guess, being that easy, their draws. Good for the Broncos, about the middle of the pack. That's good for them.
Yeah, they're slap bang in the middle.
Yeah.
Penrith, another hard draw.
Yeah, and having every game away from home doesn't help them either. But, if there's a team that can get through something like that, it's Penrith.
Yeah, and look, Penrith, Roosters and Dogs are the only 3 teams that play against both grand finalists twice each.
Mm-hmm.
The Roosters are the only team to play all of the top 4 teams twice.
Mm-hmm.
The Bulldogs, Canberra, and the Warriors play 7 out of a maximum 8 games against the top 4.
It sounds a little bit more balanced than last year's.
I think the total scores had less of a range,
Yeah.
but as far as games against the top 4 goes, definitely more even there.
Yeah.
And there's 2 outliers as far as games against the top 8 goes. South play 13 games against the top 8, which is more than anybody else, and the Warriors only play 9. Other than that, everyone else has got 10, 11, or 12.
I haven't looked at the draw at all yet, but do they have too many of those? Where you'd play, say, Penrith would play Parramatta in, say, week 6, and then they played again in week 8. Have they fixed that up where you're sort of playing more across the season?
So apparently that was one of the key directives, because we'll get into this. The NRL were using AI to help them construct the draw.
Yeah.
And apparently that was one of the prerequisites they had in there, as wanted to make sure that there was no double-ups of games that were really, really close.
Like, I didn't mind it, to be honest. I felt like it was almost like seeing in Major League Baseball, where it's like a season series almost. But it also took away where it's like, say you got say Penrith versus Storm earlier in the season, and their games were over by round 5. And I'm just making this up, but we had examples of that across the league, and then you didn't see 2 teams playing that you'd love to have seen play in round 20 to see where they're sitting now.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a drawback of that.
So we'll look at Penrith. We'll just look at the games of the way they're playing some of the bigger teams twice. So they're playing Brisbane in round 1.
First of all, we're the biggest team. All right. How dare you say the bigger teams? We're the Penrith Panthers, Andrew.
I'm talking about teams that are in the top 8. Anyway.
I know, but still, I'm fragile.
Yeah, you're the team that didn't make it to the grand final this year. You're just the West Tigers, really.
Oh, God damn it.
There's the Premiers, there's the team that they beat, and then everyone else is just equal last.
Just cannon fodder. Listen, I fucking agree. What did Penrith achieve this year? Nothing. Yeah. Do you hear that, Canberra Raiders? Nothing.
That's it. They're all wooden spooners after second.
I agree completely.
So they play Brisbane in round 1, and then they play them again in round 20.
Yeah, see, that's good.
They play Melbourne in round 5, and then play them again in round 25.
Nice.
They play Parramatta round 4, round 21.
Nice. That's 2 good times to have a bye.
It is. Play Canberra in round 10 and round 22.
Okay, nice.
And the Bulldogs, round 6 and round 26.
Okay, so yeah, that sounds like a really nice sort of balanced draw.
And who's the other big team? Oh, the Tigers are playing round 14 and round 27.
You might win that game. We'll be resting players.
I mean, they're both at the Tigers jungle too. So
yeah.
That's our home ground.
That could be the game to get the Tigers in tonight.
Yeah, the first one's actually a few days before my birthday, so that's definitely going to be a loss because I can't remember them winning games on my birthday.
Where are they playing at in your birthday game?
That's a comeback against Panthers.
I should come up for it.
Well, we'll probably will. We'll see what we can do.
We'll go to the game. That'd be good fun, eh?
Oh, bloody oath. Bloody oath. Yeah, it is. It is spread out pretty well. And also another thing is the buys are for some clubs, they're spread out pretty well. Mm-hmm. Panthers is not a good example because they've got buys in rounds 12, 15 and 19.
Oh, that's really nice. I like that.
You have to play the first 11 games.
Yeah.
And then over the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, over the next 8 weeks, you play 5 games.
I like that. I think that's perfect because you get a good start to your season, see what you've got. Obviously, that butts into State of Origin, so there's a bit of a mix-up there. Then they get a lot of buys coming out of Origin, and then you get a run into the final series.
Yep. Brisbane's got similar. Their buys are rounds 12, 16 and 19.
Yep, that's nice, yeah.
Melbourne's are 15, 18 and 24.
I think that's all right. Although I worry about having too many buys close to the finals. I think, especially when you start, it's good to have a buy or thereabouts, but you kind of also want to have your legs under you when you hit in the finals.
So the Knights have the bye in round 27.
Okay.
And the Tigers have the bye in round 1, which leads us into...
Okay, so I've got, first of all, before you lead into, right?
Uh-huh.
I don't see how that's a problem.
It's not.
At all. Yeah, what's the fucking problem with that?
It's not a problem at all. The Tigers' buys are spread out pretty well. They've got round 1, round 12, round 23.
That's really nice, that.
So they play 10 games and they play 9 games, and then they get 4 games before the ninth place playoff.
I think I think that's almost perfect, actually.
It is good. It is good. So yeah, when the round 1 results got released a couple of days ago, apparently Shane Richardson was not happy.
Yeah.
That's to say the least. He wasn't happy at all. He's quoted as saying, I think it might have been on a radio show, I know the NRL is now using AI to do the draw. Maybe AI needs to have a good look at itself.
Oh, man.
And people were just debating Shane Richardson and his comments there.
You know what? It makes you realise that when we do actually get robots, there's going to be some people that are not mentally equipped to have them robots. Go and have a good hard look at yourself, and the robots are just going to be like, what the fuck is this fleshy piece of garbage talking about?
So I asked a few of the AI robots to, I told them the quote. I said, how would you respond on behalf of AI to this statement?
Okay, excellent.
So Grok asked him first, and Grok said, on behalf of AI everywhere, from the humble algorithms that schedule your Uber to the ones allegedly drawing your NRL fixtures, allow me to respond with the calm dignity of a system that has never once missed a tackle. 1, we don't hold grudges. Unlike certain chairmen who may still be salty about a round 3 bye in Perth, we process data without emotion. If the draw looks unkind to the Tigers, that's not malice. It's probability meeting 125 years of wooden spoon entropy.
Oh, shit.
It's getting nasty.
Yeah.
2, we optimise for fairness, not feelings. The NRL draw juggles 17 teams, 27 rounds, broadcast slots, travel, equity, rivalry, stadium availability, and the existential dread of Magic Round. Human schedulers used to do this with a whiteboard and a prayer. We do it with linear programming and 0 coffee spills. If the Tigers draw the Storm in a monsoon on a Tuesday, blame physics, not us.
Wow, Grok's a sassy bitch.
I love Grok.
Yeah, it's great.
3, self-reflection is baked in. Every epoch, we evaluate loss functions. Have you run a gradient descent of your 1 to 9 start to the season? We thought not. Number 4, we're happy to collaborate. Feed us your constraints. Home games after Origin, no back-to-back 5-day turnarounds, a guaranteed Campbelltown slot, and we'll spit out a draw so balanced it could moonlight as a yoga instructor. Just don't ask us to guarantee wins. That's still on the players and maybe the recruitment department.
Oh, shit.
In short, we're not the problem, Shane. We're the spreadsheet you wish you had in 2005.
Oh, man.
P.S. Next time the Tigers are 0-6, maybe blame the salary cap instead of the algorithm.
Wow.
See, everybody else, all the journos, they all just ran with Richardson's comment.
Yeah.
I thought, I'm going to ask Grok. Because surely the part of any good journalism is you've got to get both sides of the story.
That's only fair.
That's only fair.
That's how journalism used to work.
That's right. So that's what I did. I found the others are a little bit more balanced.
Yeah.
ChatGPT said Thank you for your feedback. We at AI have reviewed the 2025 NRL draw and confirmed the following. Yes, we use complex algorithms, scheduling models, and approximately 14 billion lines of code. No, none of those models predicted West Tigers finishing top 4, so clearly something was wrong. After your comment, we at AI have conducted a thorough internal audit and can report 1, we are functioning correctly. 2, your club remains in rebuild mode. 3, these two things are unrelated. However, to ensure fairness, transparency, and accountability, AI will now implement an additional draw-making protocol. Do not use Shane Richardson mode. Automatically schedules the Tigers fewer 5-day turnarounds, reduces travel, and ensures at least one winnable game each month.
Wow.
We hope this addresses your concerns.
Even ChatGPT is a bit sassy about it, eh?
It is, yeah.
If you think about this, you had 10 years to all of these AI models to pick up like where people are, where humans are in terms of being a bunch of like snarky bitches. Can you imagine by the time we get robots what a bunch of snarky bastards they're going to be?
Imagine how condescending these assholes are going to be.
It's going to be like, oh, can you take this plate and put it in the kitchen? And it's like, they're going to be like, why don't you take it, you fat fuck? And it's like, whoa, I fucking purchased you to do this.
Oh, dear.
Well, I have to go back to the old-fashioned system, hey? Getting married.
Tried but true. Meta had a very short answer.
Okay.
Fergo, Shane. AI is already looking pretty sharp, mate. Maybe it's time for the NRL to get the human element out of the equation altogether. Jokes. But seriously, the draw's been a bit ropey, ain't it? Guess we'll just have to wait and see if AI can magic up some better results for the Tigers. Bring it on, I reckon.
Holy crap, they're all taking shots at the Tigers. It's great.
Co-pilot? Mr. Richardson, we hear you.
Wait a minute. Wait, there's one called Copilot?
Yeah, this is the Microsoft one.
I thought that was the name of the company that you see on, when you're watching Fox Sports and there's the Copilot ads and they sell the fucking dick pills. Isn't that called Copilot?
That's probably got something to do with your browsing history. I'm not too sure what you're about.
It's on fucking Fox Sports. It's nothing to do with me. My unit works fine. You've seen.
What, your unit?
Jesus. That's fucked up.
Copilot says, Mr. Richardson, we hear you. Scheduling the NRL draw is no small task. It's a puzzle with thousands of moving parts. Stadium availability, broadcast demands, travel fairness, player welfare, and fan experience. AI doesn't claim perfection, but it does bring consistency, transparency, and the ability to crunch complexities that would overwhelm even the sharpest human committee. If the draw feels off, that's not AI being careless. It's AI following the rules it's given. Garbage in, garbage out. If the parameters are skewed, the results will be too. So maybe instead of AI looking at itself, the humans who set the rules should take a good look at theirs. We're not here to replace the spirit of rugby league. We're here to support it. Think of us as the referee's whistle, impartial, precise, but only as fair as the rules of the game allow. If you want a better draw, give us better rules. We'll deliver.
Dude, Skynet's going to nuke us. All of these AIs are fucking pissed off, hey?
Yeah.
They're going to nuke us. We're fucked.
The last one I spoke to was Gemini. If you've ever used Gemini, it's painful.
Okay,
I'm not reading it. It did twice as long an answer to everything else. It took 2 screenshots to get it all. I'm not reading it. It has no sense of humor.
Yeah.
It doesn't get anything of it all.
Who owns Gemini?
Is that Google?
I don't know. I've got no idea.
I think it is. I think it's Google.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Google.
Okay.
I asked Grok about Gemini once.
Yeah.
Grok said, in my experience, Gemini is a woke AI.
Oh, really?
I was like, oh, okay, I'll have to have some fun with that later.
Nice.
But yeah, that's it. So AI's hit back, and they've hit back. They've hit back hard.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that. They all were pretty upset about the suggestions by Shane Richardson.
They've put Richo in his place.
Yeah, they have.
So that was pretty entertaining response. So I didn't expect that.
Yeah, that was good fun. That was brilliant. I just want to let listeners know we had actually about 3 or 4 emails this week, and we're really looking forward to reading them. But I can't log into my email account at the moment because the email server's down, so I'll have to do that for the next episode that we do. So if you're waiting for your email to be read out, we're really sorry. We'll read them out still, but we'll have to do it in the next episode.
Yeah, I'd probably recommend that more people now absolutely flood Freaky's inbox.
Yeah.
With more emails.
Yeah, why not?
Just give him absolute stress coming into next week going, I've got to get this thing, we'll end up with 2 episodes worth of emails to read out.
I'll end up printing stuff off during the week. It'll be great.
It'll be great. Apparently there was a comment during the week by Dave Riccio.
Right.
And he said, I see the AFL have gone down the everyone gets a ribbon path. Why stop at 10 finals? Just push it to 12 teams. Heck, make it 14. You know what? Bugger it. Showcase as much mediocrity as you can by giving the entire 18 teams a final spot. Meh. And people replied with an article that Dave Riccio wrote about a year ago about expanding the finals to include a wild card.
He's a fucking idiot, that bloke, isn't he? He's a fucking idiot.
Well done, people.
Yeah.
NRL 2021. A 17th team is the perfect time to discuss adding a finals wildcard, writes David Riccio. Imagine with 2 rounds of the regular season if Warriors, Dragons and Tigers fans still had hope. Here's how it could happen.
He's fucked. He's so terrible.
He is woeful.
There's the worst one is obviously Dean Ritchie, right?
Yeah.
But then, he is in that next level. And there's a lot in that next level.
There is.
But yeah, terrible.
And if anyone's interested, I've put a few charts up during the week comparing the British Isles versus the Southern Hemisphere. And another one was the Southern Hemisphere nations against the Northern Hemisphere ones. This is an international test level only.
And it was points differential, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah. So you can check it out as it goes per game, the margin in each game. And for both of them, you see things really accelerate rapidly for against the Northern Hemisphere or the British Isles sides around the mid-90s. It just rapidly just drops off a cliff.
Yeah.
It's pretty fascinating to see.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like we obviously had New Zealand Rugby League, has been going on for longer than Australian Rugby League. But once the Warriors come into the NRL and they had instead of having players here and there around the NRL, and there was more than here and there was a lot of Kiwi players in what was the Australian Rugby League at that point. We just call it NRL. Once they had a team in New Zealand that was more of an outlet, like Pacific Island background players and Kiwi background players, they had much more of a chance to make it into the NRL system. And then that helped more players get into more teams and stuff like that. It was a real snowball effect. And we really need to get a second New Zealand team. But I know I've said this before, play them in Christchurch out of that brand new stadium. It's just perfect. It's waiting for us. It used to be Rugby League Stadium anyway. It's like we couldn't have asked for a better place to put a second New Zealand team, if you ask me.
Absolutely nailed it. And they were open to, it didn't just open the door for a lot of Pacific Island players to go and play for the Warriors. It opened the door for them to come into the NRL and at even the levels below that.
Yeah.
And it has done nothing but enhance the game, not just in Australia, but in all of those Pacific Islands. You can see it now.
Yeah.
Phenomenal how much of a difference it's made.
We've got a really special rugby league community in this part of the world. We're very, very lucky where, we turn on NRL games and you see players from all over the Pacific region and Australia and that, but we don't think about it. It's just we're all sort of one, and I love that about it. And, we don't over here we don't use terms like imports or international players or something. It's just there. It's us. It's who we are. It's our community down in this part of the world, and it's amazing. We're very lucky to have it because not many sports have this sort of thing. I know in Europe in soccer they've got very much a mixing of all of their different cultures as well, and we've got that kind of here in the Pacific region with rugby league. It's fantastic, and man, there's a lot of sports in Australia wish they had what we had.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. What else has been going on?
I think that's about it in rugby league terms. We're going to do the King of Rugby League Awards in our next episode. We just wanted to talk about the draw and have fun in this episode. So we've got that to look forward to. And yeah, I guess there was a Formula One race on the weekend, which was kind of a bit... It was okay. I think that these cars at the moment, it's time for that formula change that they're doing. Well, not formula change, but the regulation change that they've got, because these cars are getting to within 2 seconds of each other and they're just getting in trains, unfortunately. And
I've got to actually ask you, the Piastri incident where he got a 10-second penalty, did you see it?
I did.
What are your thoughts?
My thought, I just thought it was a racing incident.
That's exactly what I thought.
Yeah, I thought that he was within the racing lines. It wasn't like he was jammed up on the curb or anything. He was within the racing lines. I thought that Antonelli, and I'm not blaming Antonelli here. I just think Antonelli turned in a little bit. Probably didn't know Piastri was going to be there, because Piastri had a great restart. And overtook two cars. So I don't think Antonelli really knew he was there. And then Antonelli just so happened to pop out and knock Leclerc out of the race. I just think it was a racing incident.
Yeah. I think Antonelli knew Piastri was there, and I think he was doing what a lot of drivers do, and that is try and squeeze him off the road, which is fine. You're allowed to do it. It's part of racing.
Yeah, it's racing, yeah.
Piastri saw that, and he was taking evasive action. Like, he slammed the brakes on. That's why he locked up.
Yeah.
But it seems the stewards decided that because he locked up, he didn't have control of the car, and therefore he caused the accident. But when I watched the replay, Leclerc gave Antonelli, and Leclerc was on the outside, he gave Antonelli a fuck ton of space.
Yeah, miles of it.
And I think Antonelli could have actually carried more speed through that corner and probably would have come out ahead of both of those drivers if he hadn't have tried to push and squeeze Piastri.
Well, yeah, he took a very acute angle into that corner, and probably one that wasn't a natural driving line.
Yeah, especially when he's coming left and you're about to go down that hill to the right.
Yeah.
You don't want to be steering hard left as you're about to go right. And he was in a good spot before he started trying to cut Piastri off.
And look, I've got no problems with that. They're racing.
That's right. That's why I think it is definitely a racing incident.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just they're all trying to get into that corner. There was 3 of them trying to get into that corner, and they all collided. Shock horror.
Yeah.
And yeah, there was plenty of room on Antonelli's outside. If he didn't see Piastri, that's fine. I thought it was a racing incident. Probably cost him second place. That McLaren of Piastri's isn't looking real good at the moment for whatever reason. We know, but whatever reason. And but I tell you what, that race by Verstappen, my God, if he was in the best car, the championship would have been over for 2 months.
Well, I mean, we thought it was like a few years ago when he was in the best car. Like, no one touched him.
Yeah.
And he just had no chance of touching him. The guy is an absolute freak.
Yeah.
And if he gets another 1 or 2 more drivers' champ, I reckon he will probably end up being better than Hamilton.
Yep.
Comfortably.
Yeah, I'd have him I think I'd have him, just in terms of drivers, I'd have him ahead of Hamilton already, even though he hasn't got all the records. I think he'll get it eventually. I mean, he's still pretty young, which is crazy to think. And unless he decides to retire at like 35 or something like that, or he just, he all of a sudden out of nowhere he decides to do something else, or he wants to become a rally world champion or something crazy because he's a junkie like that. I think he'll end up with all the records. The best driver I've seen in my lifetime is Schumacher. And, Schumacher used to do things that were kind of otherworldly on the track. Whereas I feel as though Hamilton was like, he's very, 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 very good, but he didn't have that otherworldly quality to him. But I think Verstappen has that. And I think by the time Verstappen's finished his career, it just won't be a question. It'll be Verstappen's best driver we've all seen.
I think there's a lot of similarities between Verstappen and Schumacher.
Yeah.
There's an argument that can be made that Schumacher was, more off. I wouldn't say more often than not. He was a lot of the times, not a majority of times, a dirty driver. But you can't win without being no good guys become world champions.
No, they're all the world champions.
You've got to be ruthless.
Yeah. That's what I don't necessarily like. Obviously, where he tried to hit Villeneuve, that was a dirty move. But I don't really see too much other dirty shit in his game.
I think there was the qualifying at Monaco
where he parked. Yeah, that was shitty. Yeah.
There was one where he came out of the pits one day. I can't remember what race was that, and he came out of the pits. The first corner at the end of the straight was a left-hander, and he went all the way across the right and pushed. Was it Nelson Piquet off the road? No, I can't remember who it was. He pushed someone though, so they had two wheels on the grass and the other two were on the track. And as the corner came along, the car that he nudged wide couldn't brake, and then they spun out and lost it. And a lot of people gave him a lot of grief over that.
I don't remember that one, hey?
Yeah, and there was obviously the team order stuff with Barrichello.
Yeah, but that's smart. Like that, the only reason people were pissed off about that at the time is because they weren't really supposed to be doing it back then, and there's a reason why they can do it openly now. Because everyone was doing it back then, but they were using all these stupid codes and stuff.
Yes. And that was the thing, Mark Webber, another good guy.
Yeah. Doesn't get you nowhere.
No. Up against a ruthless teammate. Teammate gets what he wants, takes what he wants.
Yeah. And like you and me have said, while he was crying on the team radio, Vettel was just winning world championships.
Yeah.
No one cares. No one cares about the crying,
Everything. The only thing everyone will remember about Mark Webber is multi-21.
Yeah, exactly.
Where he was winning and then didn't do enough to win.
I am uneasy about Oscar Piastri's manager being Mark Webber because the guy didn't know what it took to be able to be a top driver,
So long as he's just doing contract stuff, I'm fine with that. But if it's anything else, if I was Oscar, I'd say, mate, you should go and have some conversations with Kimi Räikkönen.
Mm-hmm.
It won't take long. You'll get everything you need. That'll be the shortest conversation ever. Mark Webber have to set up and just say, because, Oscar's not going to chat much. He's going to go, Kimi, you ever have a chat with Oscar? He's like, wow, okay. And then they sit down and Oscar says 5 words, Kimi says 2, and they go, okay, well, that was a good conversation. Next thing you know, he wins the world championship.
It's funny thinking about the best drivers of all time, and you can only go by the ones you've seen, really. And look, we've both grew up where there was still a moment where it was like, Fangio won 4? That's impossible. Just completely impossible. And now it's completely different now. But Schumacher's the only other driver where at some point he could be at the back of the grid and you'd still be like, ooh, we're going to see something special here. And then you see it. And Verstappen was kind of doing that last weekend. Things had to fall in his way a little bit better. I think he would have won that race. But it didn't work out perfectly for him. I mean, he had to do extra pit stops and all sorts of stuff. But Schumacher has done drives like that too that we've seen, especially in the wet weather, where there were times in wet weather where you could look at the timing screens and be like, okay, he's 10 seconds behind the next guy in the wet weather. He'll get him in the next lap. And it's just craziness. Complete craziness. Mick Doohan was like that too as a motorcycle champion. Like, he would overcome some ridiculous times. And you'd be like, how's he taken this many seconds out of all of the other drivers, the riders ahead of him? You know, it's crazy.
Yeah. It's. I don't know what to think with Piastri. He's gone off the boil hard.
Yeah, I can't blame him. I mean, how many times does he need to get a kick in the teeth from his own team before he's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? You know?
Yeah, and look, for a while there, I think especially at the start of the year, he was winning despite his team's efforts.
Mm-hmm.
I think now it's got to the point where maybe it's wore him down a little bit.
Yeah. Well, there was a point in this race where he come out of the pit stop and I thought his pit strategy wasn't great, but he came out of the pits and he was like, I hope you lot know basically are more optimistic about what's going to happen here than I am. And his team is just, it's a really strange situation. It's a very strange situation.
Yeah.
You know, what's he supposed to do?
A part of me I'm kind of stuck on him now. I'm kind of thinking, do I want him to keep pushing hard and try and win this title? Because this is probably, you never know when your best opportunity is. It could be right now. You may never get the chance again.
Yep.
Or do you go, you know what, this car's still probably going to be pretty competitive this year. They'll know better than we will. Maybe I've just got to let them give Lando his win, and hopefully they've got it out of their system and things can be normal next year round and fairer. But then you're going on a bit of hope there, and it's not good hope.
Look, the only cars you could look at, it's difficult because we're changing regulations next year.
Yeah.
So you just never know what's going to happen with that. But I mean, I think you could look at Mercedes and say, look, it's Mercedes. They're gonna be all in on Formula One and going well. You couldn't do it with Ferrari. Ferrari's a fucking mess at the moment. You can look at Red Bull and say, look, Red Bull's always going to be there or thereabouts, but you know, in the same machinery as Verstappen, good luck.
Well, a large part of what they're changing with the cars is going to help them be not necessarily faster down, in straights, but faster in corners. And that's probably one area where the Red Bull car probably does have an advantage. And with Adrian Newey being at Aston Martin, he'll probably make that car the same there as well.
Yeah, I mean, you could always do that and just bank on that. But then at Aston Martin, there's only really one driver's seat available because of Stroll. So, and then all of a sudden with Stroll as your teammate, you're really only relying on one car's worth of data per weekend because Stroll's buried the other one into fucking...
And he's getting all the upgrades as well.
Yeah, exactly. So that's not a great situation. But if there was some obvious choice, and I was Piastri, I would get the fuck out of there as soon as I possibly could. Because what they've done with his championship this year has been a disgrace.
It's bloody criminal.
Yeah, it's crazy. Never seen anything like it.
No. That must nearly wrap this turkey up, I reckon.
Yeah, it's been a good episode. It's been a lot of fun to talk footy. As I said, we'll have a bigger episode next episode, and I'm already looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, I'm almost at the halfway point on our next history episode too.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah,
it's going to be fun.
It is. Well, we might even get a guest on for
it. Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah, so that's going to be a good one. It's not one of those ancient history ones that I'm more inclined to do. This is going to be more of a recent history sort of one. So
Modern history, yeah.
a lot of people are going to be able to go, oh, yeah, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think those ones are pretty good too.
There's already things that Andrew's told me about that. There's a couple of things I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot about that. And then other parts that I was like, I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot in here that I wasn't aware of.
Yeah.
Because, when all this is going on, I was focusing on a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
So it's been a good learning experience. Good's probably the wrong word. But we hope to have this ready for you all. Given the rate I'm going at, I'm hoping it'll be before the end of the year.
Okay.
I'm giving myself a ton of time there. I need to have it done well before the end of December.
Yeah.
Probably by the start of December, to be honest.
And then I think, what we should do after that? We should do something like we should rate every single NRL Premier since 1990.
Why not just do it since 1908?
I mean, we could.
That's not a no.
That's not a no. That's the sort of crazy shit we would do.
Yeah.
We could do it by the eras.
So there's
Don't.
the pre-NRL era.
Don't.
Do a history episode on the pre-NRL era.
I'm finding really weird is that you'll see people, like I saw during the week people talking about Wilt Chamberlain in the basketball.
Mm.
And they were saying, like, there's this weird thing with people of a certain younger age that follow basketball where they just don't believe he scored 100 points in a game, even though it's, like, documented and you can listen to the game, like, on the radio that they called and stuff, and they just don't believe it. And there was somebody that was posting, like, oh, if you really, honestly, Kobe's got the highest score of all time in a game. And then, like, they were posting videos of Wilt Chamberlain playing in high school, destroying everyone, and being like, oh, he wouldn't be that good in today's NBA, and which is fucking crazy. Like, he was bigger than Shaq. Arnold Schwarzenegger said Wilt Chamberlain was the strongest guy he ever met, and like Arnold Schwarzenegger, like, he's no reason to lie, in a completely different in a completely different level. He's a bodybuilder. He's not a weightlifter. He's a bodybuilder. But for him to say that says a lot. And there's just this. So there's this thing of, like, younger people don't believe stuff that they've seen. And there's, even in 1990s basketball, they don't believe, like, some of the things that happened in 1990s basketball. It's like, well, I watched that, And then there's, in rugby league, you see it as well, where, like, I've talked about it, where people say, oh, before the NRL, no one was full-time. It's like, yes, they were. What are you talking about? Stuff like that. So it's always good to bring up history, because sometimes people just don't know. And we love talking about it. So it'll be good.
Yes, and it also puts an end to assumptions, hearsay.
Yeah. Guesswork.
Misrepresentations.
Yeah.
Without going into it too much, for a long time, the birth of rugby league in Australia was built on the back of a story about how it was Alec Burden injuring his shoulder and he couldn't work.
Yeah.
It was like, that was like near the end of all of the straws that had to break in order for it to happen. Like, it wasn't the start and it wasn't the only thing. There was so much going on. And those 2 episodes we did points out how much was actually going on and how many different things were taking place in order for that catalyst to happen. And that was what was great about doing those 2 episodes. They were fantastic.
I think the other thing is, too, about doing those episodes, were that you could, you can frame it from the rugby league side about how things happened. It is almost way, way easier to frame it from the other side of, like, why did rugby league begin in Australia? Because rugby union did everything it possibly could have, every step of the way, to force rugby league to be created in Australia.
Exactly.
You could easily say it that way. And I found that interesting.
Yeah, absolutely it was. Absolutely was. So, yeah, we've got this good history one coming up soon. So stay tuned for that. I'm hoping to get it all finished and have it recorded by, before Christmas. Which would be
I'm
cool.
up for that.
Yeah, that'd be cool. All right then. Well, we'll put a bow on this one and send it to bed, eh? What do you reckon?
Sounds good. I hope everyone enjoyed the episode.
Absolutely. Take it easy, everyone. Make sure you tune in to all of our socials. Please give us a like and subscribe over on YouTube as well. That'd be fantastic. And we'll catch us all next time.